Hey, thanks for joining me again for video 3 of this 3-video series. I'm Dr. Colin Henderson from chiropractichandprint.com, and this third video has to do with developing an ironclad, self-evident close. And what I mean by that is properly done using microagreements, progressive enrollment, and properly placed questions. You should be able to get to the point in your doctor's report where you're ready to close up and to finalize the action steps that people need to take to refer their friends and family in, and have all of your audience basically anticipating every step that you take them through. That doesn't happen by accident. So a couple of things that you need to know. Number one, developing an ironclad, self-evident close begins at the beginning of your report. And it begins with progressive enrollment, where you're using the right kind of questions to have people recognize or identify themselves as a person who refers. So for example, and you need to test this and experiment with it yourself. It has to be authentically yours. You can't just copy what I do or what someone else does. But for example, one of the things that I do during the middle of my report is ask some very simple questions like, does everyone understand why it's so critical to get your family checked for subluxations and anyone else that you really care about? And what I'm looking for is a lot of nodding and a lot of agreement. And if I don't see that, I know that that person or those people who aren't yet on board need a little bit more time to process. But the mere fact that I've asked the question has planted a seed that will then start to grow on its way to the close of the doctor's report. Similarly, another question that I ask is, when I'm talking about this kid with asthma or this older person who's taking all the drugs, are you thinking about people in your life? And everyone is. I know that from experience. They always are. But what I'm looking for is for them to see themselves as the kind of person who is thinking about their friends and family and wanting to get them checked. And so the last piece that I can tell you is that your ironclad, self-evident close needs to have very, very clear action steps. So it's one thing to say to your patients at the end of the night, hey, if there's someone that we can help that you would like to get checked, just talk to Joan. She'll give you the information. You can pass it on to your friend and they can contact us and we would love to help them. And you know what? That might be effective for you or for other people. But what I've found is that being much more specific and much more intentional is much more helpful for those people. And so explaining in detail, we're going to get you to schedule an appointment for the people you care about. We're going to get you to do that because tonight when you call them, it is way more powerful for you to say, listen, I was at my chiropractor's office. I really think they can help you. And so I scheduled a no-charge exam for you Thursday at 9. That is a much more powerful statement, and people are much more likely to act when that's the case. We also put a deadline on this, so we say it has to be in the next 2 weeks because, and I explain this, does anybody in the audience know someone who needs to make a healthy change but has never gotten around to it? And of course everyone knows somebody like that, and so the heads will be nodding, and then I can explain that's why we limit this for the next 2 weeks, because the people you care about deserve to get checked immediately. And by putting a little bit of time pressure on them, that's our way of lovingly giving them a little nudge and saying, make this a priority. So listen, developing an ironclad close that is self-evident and full of very clear steps is not that hard, but it's not that easy either. You're going to need to experiment with this. I tell all of my coaching clients, my private coaching clients, my goal is for you to become self-coached. There is a process to that, and it involves a regular examination of what's going on in you, what's going on in your patient, and what you're doing with a particular procedure. When you examine those three variables on a regular basis, you can start to refine what you do and own it. And when you own it, it will be much, much more productive. So take what I've taught you over these 3 videos, incorporate it into your doctor's report, but at the same time, employ this self-coaching process of looking at, how do I feel about saying this? Do I feel fully connected and authentic with it, or do I feel like I'm saying someone else's script? Because if you feel like you're saying someone else's script, change it. Similarly, how are my patients, or how's my audience receiving this? And if you feel like people feel like I'm selling them, then something needs to be changed so that you're not feeling like you're selling them. And then lastly, you need to take a look at exactly what it is you're doing. Are you doing a step-by-step process? Are you giving them every chance possible to come to the conclusion that now is the time for them to refer their friends and family into your office? So listen, guys, one more time. If you really want to go deep on this, come to the Handprint Conference Saturday, May 7th, 2016 at the Calgary Airport Delta Hotel. Roberto Monaco, who is one of the clearest communication coaches I've ever met, is going to be there doing a chiropractor-specific communication training for the entire day, 8 hours. For a small investment of time and money, this could radically change your ability to communicate the chiropractic message. Lastly, if you've enjoyed these videos and you'd like to continue receiving content from us, no charge, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, search for Chiropractic Handprint on Facebook, like our page, and as new content gets released, typically in a video form, it'll be added to your feed immediately, and you'll just get it and be made aware of it as soon as we release it. Have an awesome day, guys. Be in love with serving and refining and becoming better at it, and you're going to be a world changer if you're not already. Get back to your office and get saving lives. Your people need you.